We have had so much of difficulty in terms of meeting the demand even after 12 months of its launch.
Demand is so strong, the company has to ramp up production to meet demand. With an engine capacity of 2179cc, the XUV 500 has a brake horsepower of 140, a measure of the power of the engine. That translates to 103 kilowatt of power, enough to power the loudest of rock concerts. The car has a broad wheelbase of 2700 mm and stands at 1785 mm in height, with a 6-speed gearbox, disc brakes, independent suspension, a 70-liter fuel tank, a 5.6-meter turning radius. This large urban car accelerates from 0 to 100 km per hour in 12.5 seconds and can hit a maximum speed of 175 km per hour. With plush interiors, 6 airbags, all-wheel drive and a navigation system, the car has top-end features on offer. New Mahindra Chakan factory is up and running. A massive greenfield facility. It is one of the most advanced plants in the world. Spread over 700 acres, this huge facility can move cars from press shop to body shop to paint to assembly as fast as any factory in the world. 77 tons of high-tension steel are used every day in the press shop of the Chakan plant. Over the year, that would be as much as the amount used for the iconic Bandra Worli ceiling in Mumbai. 17 robots and nearly 3,000 employees. This state-of-the-art plant is capable of producing over 100,000 vehicles a year.
I've never seen a plant of this size. It is unbelievable.
With the factory op, they get the assembly line ready for action. First, the sheet metal is pressed into various body parts of the XUV 500. These parts are transported to the body shop, where they're put together both manually and with robots, doing precision welding. The fully formed body then moves on to the paint shop, and then painted both manually and by robots. The painted body is sent to the trim chassis and finish shop, where everything from its tires and transmission to its upholstery, cockpit to windshield wipers are fitted. After final testing, the car is ready to drive. But the team is still a long way from mass-producing road warriors.
So it's not that somebody styles and then manufacturing guy says I can't make it. So there is a lot of simulation process we do.
Extensive computer simulations help the engineering team tackle the unusual contours of the XUV 500. The team ensures that it will fit together perfectly.
Have to make sure that all the panels are coming together properly. All the components are where they are supposed to be. They give this wholesome look of perfection.
Flawless design is not easy to achieve. It requires the highest technology to support it.
We have used a lot of computer-aided simulation tools to ensure that everything is done, simulated very early in the program, and we have less surprises when we go downstream into the program.
Surprises lead to faults, something that the team ill afford. They can't change the cheetah-inspired design. Kripa and her team must figure out how to transform sheet metal into a streamlined beast.
Form, there are very clear lines, there is a particular quality about the stance that's derived from the cheetah. So you have the pounce on the fenders, you have the haunch over the rear wheel arch, you have the muscle cut line on the belly to reduce the mass on the metal mass on the body side. All these are the connects to the cheetah.
The cheetah-inspired design speaks to the customer's most important theme. Feel the power. Reflects both style and function.
When the customer sits inside the vehicle, the customer should transform. The customer should feel the power.
So when you say feel the power, this theme is seen by every system team.
For every department working on the XUV 500, feel the power becomes their new mantra.
The XUV 500, we took care with every detail. The arrow in the tail lamp, which is pointing down to a very unique and impressive shoulder line. The shoulder line itself is the story of the car in the terms of the stance that it has, which relates to the cheetah.
The XUV design is checked and rechecked virtually in Chennai. The whole team is fired up. They've tasted blood. Now they're ready for the kill. The XUV team has reached one of the most dramatic moments of the project, building the prototype. They assemble the prototype part by part. The dream is getting closer, but it's still so far away.
Many different parts didn't fit well perfectly. It was almost like an ugly duckling.
None of the young XUV team has ever built a car like this before. The prototype has to look as good as it drives. First impressions are everything. After extensive simulations and virtual checks, the XUV prototypes are finally ready for inspection. The XUV team has chosen an innovation to make sure the design is contemporary.
Here in the press shop, what we are hearing in the background is the stamping sound of XUV 500 body side panel. The conventional method of forming body side panel is in two parts. But to get the high precision and quality that we wanted to give the styling look of cheetah, we decided to go in for one piece body side panel.
Choosing a single-piece body side results in a lighter, more fuel-efficient car. This gives the XUV an easy urban feel while retaining the ruggedness of an off-road.
In order for us to create the most perfect vehicle, everything had to come together in the right manner. The way I designed the product, the way I designed the tooling, the way I buy the equipment, the way I put them together, and making sure that repeatedly I can get this perfection.
Perfection is just the beginning. In the body shop, 4 robots are tasked with high-precision welding, a critical step to refine the car's fit and finish.
Anything going wrong here is a very big problem for us.
The surfaces and contours of the car are measured in 3 dimensions, mapping its shape down to the micron. The team will report any imperfections that appear.
Even if the smallest measurement is not met, we send the car back.
Prototype passes, and the XUV 500 moves on. The styling and R&D team hands the baton over to the manufacturing team. Part by part, robots and welders piece the car together on the assembly line. The first global Indian-built SUV is almost a reality. The XUV's shape and finish has to be perfect, down to the millimeter.
Another forward thinking what we did is in our paint shop. We have got 2 systems. One is a 2-coat and one is a 3-coat. So the 3-coat line was never tested. And then we anticipated that that can come in my way.
The XUV's strong shoulder and crisp creases on the body side reflect light differently from day to night. A series of tests to ensure paint quality.
We took about 10-15 bodies of this XUV, and then we started the 3-coat paint shop.
With painting finished, the team finally has its car, the XUV looks exactly like what the team had conceived.
And as the light goes down, how the shadows start playing a more important part in the definition of the form, and that changes a certain aspect. And I would like to think that it makes it more aggressive, more beast-like.
But this is only the beginning of this beast's journey.
So when you look at starting to do something that you've never done before, it's always a daunting task. You always start sweating. What happens? Because I won't know for 5 years whether we have succeeded or not. And by that time, we have to spend 1,000 crores of company's money. And if you don't succeed, being still a small company relatively in the automotive space, if you don't succeed, it's going to be a fairly significant impact in the company.
Coming off Chakan, MRV setting up, etc., etc. At the same time, planning for XUV, it all happened together.
The car goes into production on a massive scale. The pressure is on. The manufacturing team must roll out the brand new XUV 500 in a very short time span. And they can't lose sight of the cheetah-inspired style.
Yes, it is a risky proposition, but at the same time, if you're convinced, dream wild and then make it happen.
Moving parts of the car.
We do a complete mapping of noise on various seating positions on the car. If you have a loud car, then it gives a unrefined, very immature development feeling, whereas a well-refined car which is isolated from the road noises and the ambient noises when you are driving, including the engine noise, gives you a feel of the refinement of the car. So the customer gets a very refined feeling when you drive a car.
Each day, the XUV inches closer towards the finish line. But there are still many hurdles to overcome. The door handle is a key point of contention. The design team had styled an unconventional outer handle, the likes of which had never been seen before. Now, they had to actually engineer it.
A lot of work happened around it between styling, engineering, manufacturing, and even our suppliers.
The debate rages on, but the styling team sticks to their guns. It fits the overall cheetah theme. To some, it even seems claw-like.
We had many options on the drawing board when we did the handle.
We had a really tough time taking a final decision on that. And finally, the debate was settled by saying, look, let's do justice to the cheetah concept. And if this adds to that concept, let's take the risk and go ahead. In fact, we did consumer research on this aspect and the consumers loved it.
The XUV 500 project is still a risky investment, but it's a calculated risk. From the design of the car, the research and development, to the design of the factory itself, everything along the chain has been thought out well in advance.
Because we are designing a global vehicle that had to meet many different safety standards around the world, the body design became very sophisticated. We had to use high-strength materials, very tough materials that to develop. The manufacturing process had to be developed to handle these materials. So the manufacturing facility and the design went along with the product design.
Everything seems to be running in perfect sync for the XUV 500. Even the claw-like handle is working. With the final assembly, the XUV 500 has fittings sourced from the best suppliers in the marketplace. It looks great, but it also has to meet global safety standards. During a crash test, the vehicle is exposed to extreme destructive forces in a controlled environment. The XUV team is testing an unknown entity. They've never done such a complex design before. Now they would see if their engineering worked.
I was really nervous.
It is a crucial part of product development to ensure high standards of build quality and passenger safety. The XUV fares very well in the crash test.
Each time you wonder, will you succeed, will you succeed? When the first car was crashed, it was a wow.
For the team, it's a big success.
When you don't accept just okay. When you desire higher performance. You break through into the future. Welcome to the future of manufacturing, the birthplace of outperformance, the versatile, the scalable, and future-ready Mahindra Vehicle Manufacturing Limited plant in Chakan, home to Mahindra Trucks and Buses Limited. A modern facility built from scratch to meet the transportation needs of modern India. That's a fully automatic press line from Germany, completely modular and flexible, offers the vehicle of the future. So advanced, there are only 3 of these state-of-the-art machines in the world. Over 100 robots and auto guns handle critical operations. All of the weld guns in this body shop are integrated transformer type for power efficiency. A synchronized sequence of computer-controlled processes. The latest in robotics and advanced processes like road dip priming, a first in India and second of its kind in the world. Paint machines ready for the water-based compounds of the future. All these processes are energy efficient too. The heat to drive this paint comes from the oven exhaust and the solar heating system. That's a first for the auto industry. Flexible assembly lines, capable of handling large variations in parts and process to meet ever-changing customer demands. An army of precision tools that push the level of finishing to perfection. Electrified monorail for inter-processes connectivity. Highly skilled technicians, aided by precision machines, produce a marvel of modern engineering. The M-Power engine. Vigorous testing lines make sure that the quality standards are highest possible.
I wonder what it's like to work here.
This facility is not just designed for machinery, but also for the comfort and safety of employees. That's why we attract a young, energetic, and passionate workforce. But here's the best part. All this is eco-friendly too.
Really? What about the waste from all these machines?
That's all recycled.
And the water?
The water is recycled at the effluent treatment plant. This water is used in the paint shop.
And all this energy?
Solar dishes generate the heat needed for various processes, especially in the paint shop. In fact, the transport vehicle you are in runs on solar power too. The factory of the future to produce the outperformers of the future. Mahindra's versatile, scalable, and future-ready manufacturing facility in Chakan, the birthplace of outperformance, the epicenter of India's trucking revolution. And we are not the only ones talking about Mahindra.